Every single person watching this video right now is fighting something they have never told anyone about. And that something, it is quietly destroying the way you see yourself. Lust. That word alone makes people uncomfortable, because deep down, everyone knows it. Everyone has felt it. That pull, that hunger, that invisible chain that wraps itself around your mind and whispers to you that you are not enough unless you chase what it wants you to chase. But here is the truth nobody tells you. Lust is not just about desire. It is about emptiness. It is the voice inside you that says, if I just get this one thing, I will finally feel whole. And every single time you chase it, it moves the finish line. Every single time. So you are left running towards something that was never meant to fill you. And the longer you run, the more tired your soul becomes. This video is not about guilt. It is not about shame. It is not about making you feel broken, because you are not broken. You are human. And being human means you were designed to feel deeply. The problem is not that you feel. The problem is that something hijacked your feelings and turned them into a cycle you cannot escape. But cycles can be broken. And today, I am going to show you exactly how. Now, before we go any further, the ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote something that should stop every single one of us in our tracks. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Read that again. Let it sit. Because the moment you truly understand that your mind is the battlefield, not the world around you, everything changes. Lust does not live outside of you. It lives in the way you think, in the way you respond, in the space between what happens and what you choose to do next. And that space, that is where your freedom lives. This is not about willpower. Willpower is temporary. This is not about discipline alone either. Discipline without understanding is just suffering with a mask on. What I am talking about is something deeper, something that rewires the way your brain works, something that does not just stop the craving, it actually dissolves it from the inside out. The 5 steps I am about to share with you are not from some random list someone made up on the internet. These are rooted in psychology, philosophy, and the real, messy, beautiful process of actually becoming free. Each one builds on the last. Each one goes a layer deeper. And by the time you finish this video, you will not just understand lust differently, you will see yourself differently. Because here is what most people get wrong. They think killing lust means killing desire. They think it means becoming cold, numb, detached. But that is not freedom. That is just another cage with a different name. Real freedom is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of choice. It is waking up one morning and realizing that something that once controlled every decision you made no longer has that power. And that feeling is indescribable. So, if you are someone who has been stuck in this cycle, if you have tried everything and nothing seems to work, if you have looked in the mirror and wondered why you keep going back to something you know is not serving you, this video was made for you. Every word, every sentence, every single moment of it. Do not skip. Do not fast forward, because every single part of this video matters. Each step connects to the next. And if you miss even one, you miss the whole picture. So right now, before we begin, I need you to do something for me, like this video. Drop a comment, share it with someone who needs to hear this, subscribe to this channel, because this is not just content, this is a conversation, and conversations need people to show up. I am glad you are here. This is your moment to prove yourself. I want you to go to the comments right now and write, "I am stronger than what holds me." Number 1. The awareness shift. Stop fighting, start seeing. The first mistake every single person makes when they decide to fight lust is this. They treat it like an enemy. They wake up one morning full of frustration, full of self-hatred, and they say, "I am going to destroy this. I am going to fight this with everything I have." And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it works. They feel strong, they feel disciplined, they feel like they are finally winning. And then one quiet evening, one lonely moment, one single trigger, and everything they built collapses. Not because they were weak, but because they were fighting the wrong way. See, when you fight something, you give it power. You put all your energy into it. You think about it constantly. You become obsessed with the very thing you are trying to destroy. And lust. Lust feeds on attention. It does not care if the attention is positive or negative. It just needs you to look at it. It just needs you to engage. So, the first step to actually killing lust is not fighting it. It is seeing it, truly seeing it, for exactly what it is. This is called the awareness shift, and it is the foundation everything else is built on. The psychologist Carl Jung spent his entire life studying the human mind, and one of the most powerful things he ever said was this: the first stage in healing any dysfunction is bringing it into consciousness. Not fighting it, not denying it, not burying it deeper into the dark corners of your mind where it grows stronger every single night. Bringing it into the light, looking at it directly, understanding its shape, its voice, its pattern. Because the moment you truly see something for what it is, it loses the ability to trick you. And lust is one of the greatest tricksters in the human mind. Think about it for a moment. When lust shows up, it does not introduce itself honestly. It never says, "Hey, I am here to create a temporary feeling that will leave you emptier than before." No, it disguises itself. It shows up as loneliness and says, "I am connection." It shows up as boredom and says, "I am excitement." It shows up as pain and says, "I am escape." It wears so many masks that most people spend their entire lives chasing it without ever realizing what they are actually chasing. So the awareness shift is about removing those masks, one by one. Here is how you actually do this in real life, not in theory, in practice. The next time you feel that pull, that familiar tug in your chest or your mind, do not run from it. Do not immediately try to stop it. Instead, pause. Just pause for 10 seconds. And in those 10 seconds, ask yourself one simple question. What am I actually feeling right now? Not what I want. What am I feeling? Are you lonely? Are you bored? Are you sad? Are you frustrated? Are you trying to escape something painful that happened earlier in the day? Because behind every single moment of lust, there is an emotion that has nothing to do with desire. There is a wound that has not been looked at, a feeling that has not been acknowledged. And the moment you name it, the moment you say to yourself, "Oh, I am not actually hungry for this. I am sad. I am lonely. I am hurt," the pull weakens. Not completely, not instantly, but it weakens, because you just took away one of its masks, and a mask that has been removed can never be worn again. This is not a one-time practice. This is something you do again and again. Every single time that pull shows up, you practice seeing it. You practice naming the real feeling underneath. And over time, the masks run out. The tricks stop working. And what is left is just you. Clear, honest, awake. The awareness shift is not about control. It is about clarity. And clarity is the first light that breaks through the darkness. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are human. But you are also someone who now knows the very first move in becoming free. And that knowledge is a seed that, once planted, can never be fully removed. See what is really happening inside you, and you will never be fooled the same way again. Number 2. The emptiness conversation. Feed what actually starves. There is a hunger inside you that food cannot touch, and you have been trying to feed it with the wrong things your entire life. This is the part most people skip. This is the part that makes people uncomfortable, because it requires you to look at something you have been running from for a very long time. It requires you to sit down with the emptiness inside you and actually have a conversation with it. Not fight it, not ignore it, not fill it with noise and distraction and endless scrolling. Have a conversation with it, because lust, at its core, is a response to emptiness. It is your mind and your body saying, something is missing, something inside me is not full, and I need to find something, anything to make this feeling go away. And lust promises to do exactly that. It promises to fill the void. It promises to make you feel something so intensely that for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, the emptiness disappears. But it always comes back, doesn't it? It always comes back because lust never actually filled anything. It just covered it, like painting over a crack in a wall. The crack is still there. The paint just hides it for a while, and eventually the paint fades, and you are standing in front of the same crack you started with. Only now you are more tired, more frustrated, more convinced that something is fundamentally wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You just have not learned how to feed the real hunger yet. The philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote something centuries ago that cuts right through to the center of this conversation. He said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." And when you truly absorb what that means, it changes everything. Because sitting quietly alone means sitting with yourself, with your thoughts, with your emptiness, with everything you have been running from. And Pascal was not saying that sitting alone is painful. He was saying that we made it painful by refusing to do it, by filling every single second of silence with something external, something temporary, something that gives us the illusion of being full without ever actually filling us. Lust is one of the loudest ways we do this. So here is the second step, and it is called the emptiness conversation. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You sit with your emptiness. You do not run. You do not scroll. You do not reach for anything outside of yourself. You sit and you listen. Now, this might sound uncomfortable, and it will be, at first, because when you stop running, when you actually become still, the emptiness does not whisper. It speaks clearly. It tells you exactly what it needs, and what it needs is almost never what you have been giving it. Most of the time, what it needs is meaning. It needs a reason to wake up in the morning that goes beyond survival. It needs connection that is real and deep and not based on performance or validation. It needs purpose, something that makes your existence feel like it matters, something that makes you feel like you are contributing to something bigger than yourself. These are not things lust can give you. Lust can simulate them for a moment, but it cannot sustain them. Only you can do that. And only when you stop letting lust be the answer to every uncomfortable feeling. Here is how to practice this in your daily life. Once a day, even if it is just for 5 minutes, sit in silence. No phone, no music, no podcast, nothing. Just you and whatever comes up inside you. And when the emptiness shows up, and it will, do not panic. Do not reach for your phone. Instead, ask it this question out loud or in your mind. What do you actually need from me? And then listen, truly listen. The answer will not always come immediately. Some days it will be quiet. Some days nothing will come at all. But over time, over weeks, the emptiness will start to speak more clearly. It will tell you what has been missing. And once you know what is actually missing, you can start filling it with something real, something lasting, something that does not leave you emptier than before. This is not about becoming perfect. This is about becoming honest. Honest with yourself about what you truly need, Because the moment you start feeding the real hunger, the fake hunger, the one lust has been pretending to satisfy, begins to fade, quietly, naturally, without force. You have been starving for something real your whole life. It is time to finally give it to yourself. Your soul has been waiting for this. Prove it by typing this in the comments. I feed my soul now. Number 3. The rewire. Change the story. Your brain tells you. Your brain is lying to you. Not sometimes, not occasionally. Every single time lust shows up, your brain crafts a story. A beautiful, convincing, perfectly designed story that makes you believe chasing this feeling is the only logical thing to do. And you believe it. Every time. Because the story feels so real. But a story is not reality. A story is just a sequence of thoughts your brain arranged in a way that feels true. And here is the most powerful thing you will ever learn about your mind. You can rewrite that story. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now, in the middle of it happening. This is the third step, and it is called the rewire. The neuroscientist Norman Doidge spent years studying how the human brain changes and adapts. And one of his most groundbreaking discoveries was the concept of neuroplasticity, which simply means this: your brain is not fixed, it is not set in stone. It can be reshaped, rebuilt, rewired. Every single time you think a new thought, every single time you choose a different response to an old trigger, your brain physically changes. New pathways open up, old ones weaken, and over time the patterns that once felt impossible to break become the easiest thing in the world to walk away from. This means that the cycle you have been stuck in is not permanent. It never was. So let us talk about how lust tells its story, because understanding the structure of the lie is the first step to dismantling it. When lust shows up, your brain does not say, "I am about to feel a temporary chemical rush that will leave me feeling worse afterward." No. Your brain says something much more seductive. It says, "This is what you deserve. You have been working so hard. You have been suffering. You owe yourself this moment of pleasure. Just this once, just this one time, and then you will stop." And that last part, just this one time, that is the most dangerous sentence your brain will ever speak to you, because it is never just one time, it is never the last time, and deep down, somewhere beneath all the noise, you already know that. So the rewire is about catching that story in the moment and replacing it with something true, not something harsh, not something punishing. Because guilt and self-punishment are not tools of freedom, they are tools of shame. And shame does not break cycles, shame feeds them. The rewire is about replacing the lie with a quiet, honest, powerful truth. Here is how it works in practice. The moment you notice the story starting, the moment your brain begins its familiar monologue about why you should give in, you stop. You do not argue with it. You do not try to outthink it. You simply say to yourself clearly and calmly, "This is a story, not the truth." And then you replace it. You say to yourself, "I have felt this before. I know where it leads. I have seen this ending, and I choose something different this time." That is it. That is the whole thing. No dramatic speech, no lengthy inner battle, just a quiet, firm redirection. A gentle but firm hand on the steering wheel of your own mind. And here is what makes this so powerful. Every single time you do this, every single time you catch the story and choose not to follow it, your brain rewires itself. The old pathway, the one that led straight into the cycle, gets weaker, and the new pathway, the one where you see the lie and choose differently, gets stronger. Day by day, week by week, the neural architecture of your mind is literally restructuring itself around your choices. This is not willpower. This is biology. This is science working in your favor the moment you start working with your mind instead of against it. Now, there will be days when you do not catch it in time. There will be days when the story pulls you in before you even realize what happened. And that is okay. That does not mean you failed. That means you are human. The rewire is not about being perfect every single time. It is about practicing again and again until the new story becomes louder than the old one. And eventually it will, because every single time you choose the truth over the lie, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. And those votes add up, quietly, slowly, but absolutely. Your brain has been telling you a story your entire life, but you are not your brain. You are the one who listens to it, and that means you are also the one who gets to decide what to believe. You have that power. You have always had it. Now you know how to use it. This is where your power truly lives. Show me you are ready and write this in the comments. I rewrite my story. Number 4. The anchor. Build something that pulls you back. Freedom without something to hold on to is just falling in a different direction. And that is exactly what happens when people try to break free from lust without first building an anchor. They let go of the old pattern. They feel that rush of hope, that moment of clarity where everything feels possible. And then, slowly, the emptiness creeps back in. Because they removed something from their life without replacing it with something meaningful. And a life without meaning is a life that will always reach for the nearest escape. So, the 4th step is not about letting go. It is about building something to hold on to. This is called the anchor, and it is one of the most quietly powerful forces in the entire process of becoming free. The philosopher Viktor Frankl survived one of the darkest chapters in human history. He spent years in concentration camps during the Holocaust. And through all of that unimaginable suffering, he observed something extraordinary. The people who survived, the people who kept going when everything around them was designed to make them stop, were not the strongest physically. They were not the most fearless. They were the ones who had something to live for, a purpose, a meaning, a reason to keep breathing that went beyond simple survival. Frankl called this concept logotherapy, and he wrote about it in his book, Man's Search for Meaning. His central idea was this: a person can bear almost anything if they know why they are bearing it. And that idea applies directly to what we are talking about today. Because lust thrives in a life without purpose. It fills the space where meaning should be. It becomes the anchor by default when you do not consciously choose one for yourself. And the moment you build a real anchor, a genuine reason to show up for yourself and for your life, lust loses its position. It no longer gets to be the most important thing in your day. Something else does. So what is an anchor? It is not something grand. It is not something that looks impressive from the outside. It is something personal, something that makes you feel like your life has direction, something that when you wake up in the morning, it gives you a reason to move forward that is bigger than your cravings. For some people, it is creating something, writing, building, making something with their hands or their mind that did not exist before they started. For others, it is serving someone else, being present for a friend, taking care of a family member, contributing to something that has nothing to do with themselves. For others, it is growth itself, the quiet, daily practice of becoming a better version of who they were yesterday, not for anyone else, just for themselves. The anchor does not have to be perfect, it does not have to be impressive, it just has to be real. Here is how you find yours. Sit down with yourself, not to scroll, not to distract, but to think. And ask yourself this one question: if lust did not exist in my life, if I could not use it as an escape, what would I spend my energy on instead? That answer is your anchor. Maybe it has been buried for years under layers of habit and distraction. Maybe it is something you used to care about before lust quietly took over your attention. Maybe it is something you have never explored because you never had the space to. It does not matter. Whatever it is, that is where your energy belongs. And here is the most important part. You do not wait until lust disappears to start building your anchor. You build it now, right in the middle of the chaos, right in the middle of the struggle, because the anchor is not something you go to after you are free. It is the very thing that sets you free. Every single minute you spend on your anchor is a minute lust does not get. Every single ounce of energy you pour into something meaningful is an ounce it cannot steal. And over time, the balance shifts, quietly, naturally, without dramatic effort. The anchor becomes stronger than the pull. And one day, you will look back and realize that lust did not disappear because you fought it harder. It disappeared because you built something so much more important that it simply had no room left. This is not about adding one more thing to a busy life. This is about choosing where your life actually goes. This is about deciding that your days are worth more than temporary relief, that you are worth more than temporary relief. Build your anchor, hold it close, and watch how everything else begins to fall into place. You were never meant to drift. You were meant to move with intention. Now you know how. You were born to build greatness. If this touched your heart, put this in the comments. I am built for more. Number 5. The surrender. Let go of the war inside. The deepest prison is the one you built yourself trying to be free. And that is exactly where most people end up when they treat their inner battle like a war that must be won. They fight, they resist, they white-knuckle their way through every single day, and slowly, without even noticing, the fighting itself becomes the cage. Because a person who is constantly at war with themselves is never truly at peace. And without peace, there is no real freedom, just a different kind of suffering wearing a noble mask. So the fifth and final step is the hardest one to understand, but it is also the most liberating one you will ever practice. It is called the surrender. And it does not mean giving up. Let that sit for a moment. Because most people hear the word surrender and their entire body tenses up. It sounds like defeat. It sounds like weakness. It sounds like everything they have been taught to resist their entire lives. But true surrender is not weakness. It is the most courageous act a human being can perform. It is the moment you stop fighting something that does not need to be fought anymore. It is the moment you release the grip you have been holding so tightly that your hands have gone numb. The ancient spiritual teacher and philosopher Epictetus understood something about the human spirit that most people never grasp. He taught that peace does not come from controlling everything around you. It comes from accepting what you cannot control and fully owning what you can. He said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." And when you apply that teaching to the battle with lust, something extraordinary happens. You stop treating every moment of desire as a crisis. You stop treating yourself as the enemy. You stop adding layers of shame and judgment on top of an already heavy experience. And in that space, in that quiet space where the war finally stops, something heals. Something that has been wounded for a very long time begins to mend. Here is what the surrender actually looks like in practice. It does not mean you stop caring about your freedom. It does not mean you become passive or indifferent to the patterns in your life. It means you stop believing that the only path to freedom is through constant struggle. It means you allow yourself to be exactly where you are in this moment without adding the weight of where you think you should be. Because here is a truth that nobody talks about. The pressure you put on yourself to be perfect, to never slip, to kill this thing completely and permanently overnight. That pressure is actually one of the things keeping lust alive. The harder you grip, the tighter it holds. The more you hate yourself for feeling it, the more it feeds on that hatred. Lust does not just feed on desire, it feeds on inner conflict. And the greatest inner conflict most people carry is the war they wage against themselves. So the surrender is about ending that war, not with a dramatic moment, not with a grand realization, just quietly, honestly, with a gentle exhale and a whispered acknowledgement that says, I am here, I am human, I am not broken, and I do not have to fight myself anymore to become free. Practice this. When the pull comes, and it will come, do not immediately resist. Do not immediately engage. Just breathe. Let the feeling exist without giving it meaning, without building a story around it, without turning it into evidence that something is wrong with you. Just let it be there the way a cloud passes through a sky. It arrived, it will leave, and the sky remains exactly what it has always been. Vast, untouched, whole. You are the sky, not the cloud, and this is perhaps the most important thing you will take away from this entire video. You are not your cravings. You are not your desires. You are not the darkest thought that has ever crossed your mind. You are the space in which all of those things arise and dissolve. You are the awareness behind every feeling, the stillness beneath every storm, and no craving, no matter how loud, no matter how persistent, no matter how convincing it feels in that moment, can ever change what you fundamentally are. The surrender is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of your peace. It is the moment you stop running from yourself and start simply being. And in that being, in that quiet presence, you discover something that all the fighting in the world could never give you. You discover that you were never truly broken. You were just looking for permission to stop pretending that you were. So here it is. You have that permission now. Release the war, trust the process, and let yourself become who you have always been beneath all the noise. Freedom does not always look like a battle won. Sometimes it looks like a hand finally letting go. You made it to the end, and that alone tells me something powerful about who you are. You did not skip. You did not run. You sat here through every single word, and you allowed yourself to feel something real. And that takes a kind of courage most people will never understand. So, let me leave you with this. You came into this video carrying something heavy, something you have carried for longer than you would like to admit. And maybe right now, in this exact moment, that weight has not completely disappeared. And that is okay. Freedom is not always a single moment where everything changes overnight. Sometimes freedom is a slow, quiet, beautiful unfolding, like dawn breaking after the longest night. It does not arrive all at once. It arrives one breath at a time. You now carry 5 seeds inside you. Awareness, honest conversation with your emptiness, the power to rewrite the stories your mind tells you, an anchor built from something meaningful, and the courage to surrender the war you never needed to fight. These 5 things are not just steps. They are doors, and you have opened them. What you walk through next is entirely up to you. The Stoics believed that a person is not defined by what happens to them. They are defined by who they choose to become in the face of it. And you are choosing right now, in this very moment. You are choosing to become someone who is no longer controlled by something that once felt impossible to escape. And that choice, that single, quiet, powerful choice, is the most important thing you will make today. You are not what you have craved. You are not what you have chased. You are not the version of yourself that felt lost and stuck and convinced that this cycle was permanent. You are something far greater than all of that. You are someone who looked the darkness in the eye and said, I see you, but you do not own me. And that is everything. So, like this video, drop a comment, share this with someone who needs to hear these words tonight, subscribe to this channel, because this is not the end of the conversation. This is just the beginning. And I will be here, showing up for you, the same way you showed up for yourself today. The war is over. The real journey starts now. And you are ready. You have already won the hardest battle. Leave this as your very last words in the comments. I am finally free. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. Thank you for choosing yourself.